This meeting is being recorded.
That is loud. So I'm going to share my screen. And Nick, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please? Superb. Sam's just jumping in as well. Cool. So feel free to take notes if you need as we go through. We've got Robin and Sam joining. Hey guys, welcome. We're just about to start. So grab yourself a coffee, get your notebook out, and we'll get cracking in a second. I think everyone's in who's going to be in. So like I was saying earlier on, if you have any questions as we go through, please feel free to stop me, ask questions, and I'll give you a hand and try and help you out. We're going to cover the basic strategies today and an idea for an ad campaign that you can start testing straight away to see how it goes. So let me share my screen. Okay, so welcome. We're talking about Facebook ads for the next 12 months. This one's going to be on the basics, the fundamentals. Let's start with your common Facebook ad mistakes that I see people making. Number one is they choose the wrong objective within Facebook. So Facebook has 12 objectives that you can use. And often people think, for example, with the traffic objective, I know I want to send traffic to my website, so I've used the traffic objective. But actually what they want is sales of their classes, sales of their trial lessons and bookings, but they've set the campaign objective as traffic. Now, the problem with that is Facebook likes to separate your audience into different groups. And the traffic objective is great for people who click and then go to a website, but they're not necessarily people who then fill in a form on a website or spend on a website. So you want to make sure that you choose the right objective. And we're going to cover all those as we go through the training. Second thing is choosing the wrong audience. They tend to market to everyone in their local area, for example, without targeting specific groups and speaking to those specific groups. Another mistake is location targeting. They forget to make sure that their targeting is only for people who live within the geographic area around your school. You don't want people who maybe come in to work and then travel and commute back out for an hour or two. What you want is obviously people who actually live around your school. So you need to make sure that you're targeting your location correctly. Poor creative and copy. Most martial artists are not great copywriters, so I've got a few tips to help with that. And creative is the image that you use in your Facebook ad. Sometimes that needs a bit of work. It needs to be a bit more exciting, a bit more engaging. Next common mistake is not understanding their key KPIs, key performance indicators. We're going to cover those today. Not testing, so they'll run an ad, it doesn't work how they want it to work, so they switch it off. They try a different ad, it doesn't work how they want it to work, they switch it off. So it's important to test and test different elements of your ads. Once again, we're going to cover this over the next sort of 12 months. They don't use retargeting. So retargeting is following up with people who have either contacted your business, visited your website, or engaged with your Facebook content in some sort of way. You can follow up with people and show them more ads. Impatience is another big mistake. So, you know, they run an ad for 24 hours and then they're impatient and they expect it to work and it doesn't work, so they switch it off. And the final common mistake is tweaking. So that means you run an ad and then you think, oh, maybe if I change the copy, so you change the copy in the ad, or you look at the ad and think, maybe if I add an extra audience, you add an extra audience, or you run an ad and you think maybe I might add an extra creative. And the problem with doing that is it resets your ad back to the beginning. So you don't really want to tweak or change your ad too much, at least within the first sort of 3 to 5 days. So those are like the common mistakes I see most martial arts school owners making with their Facebook ads. Any questions about those, guys? Or all good? All good. So next up, winning ads. So the ads that actually perform usually have these elements. They choose the correct objective. So that might be generating leads, that might be conversion, that might be video views. We're going to look at a range of campaigns. So you just need to choose the right objective. Like, what is the goal of this Facebook ad? What am I trying to get people to do? Oh, am I trying to get them to message me on Facebook Messenger? Am I trying to get them to book a trial class? Am I trying to get them to give me their contact details? You need to choose the correct objective. You need to have a targeted audience. So you want to specifically target an audience within your local community for your ads. And we'll cover that a lot as we go through. Obviously, a specific location around your school. No point in marketing to people 200 kilometers away, 200 miles away, because they're not going to show up. So you obviously want to target a specific location. Scroll stop being creative means it's creative that stops people during the scroll. So as one thing I want you to do is, as you're scrolling through Facebook over the next sort of few months, pay attention to what makes you stop scrolling, because what stops you scrolling will stop other people scrolling as well. So it's usually things like bright colors, people's faces, action shots, pictures of the product or service stop people scrolling. So just have a, be aware of what you're doing when you're on Facebook and what stops you, and try and screenshot the creative, the images that stop you in your tracks. Next one is engaging copy. Once people stop because they've seen your image and they read the headline, the next thing they're going to do is read the copy, and your copy needs to be engaging. It needs to be interesting to read. It needs to flow. It needs to be presented in a way that works for the prospects, with a great offer and a clear call to action. So you've obviously going to be promoting your classes. You need some sort of compelling offer that encourages people to take action, and then a very clear click here to do X, click the button below to do Y, send us a message to get ABC. Very clear call to action so people know what to do next on the ad. Optimization means you do try and improve your ads performance as it's running, and there's certain ways of doing that that help you and certain ways of doing that that don't help you. We're going to cover those. And then following up. So, you're going to generate leads from your Facebook ads, but the key really is the follow-up and having some sort of systemized process for following up your leads so that you don't miss any leads, so that leads get contacted in a good time, that leads get followed up, and that you keep following up until the leads tell you to leave them alone. So those are like the winning ads, include all of those key points. And if any of those are kind of missing, then the ad is less likely to work as well. So you want to make sure you list these down and make sure you've got these when you run your own ads. So the things you need before you start running ads include a very clear objective of what your goal is. Obviously, you need a Facebook ad account. You will need Facebook and Instagram pages. Your Facebook pixel installed on your website. So if you want to do remarketing, retargeting, you need to have the Facebook pixel on your website, and I will share some information on in the group where to put the Facebook pixel and how to install it on your website, but you should have that on there as a basic. You need and by the way, if you're not familiar with what the Facebook pixel is, it's a little bit of code that you put on your website that allows Facebook to work out what's happened when they've sent someone to your website, so they'll be able to track what pages people are on and what they click on and whether they purchase or not. So Facebook pixel is a good thing to, or a very important thing to have on your website. Campaign budget means you want to set a budget for your Facebook marketing. That allows you to control your spending. It allows you to get a good idea of what you're spending and allows you to track your results. So have a budget for your ad campaign. I recommend using Canva for your pictures and your creative and your video. Canva is a great editing, designing tool, and it's very, very simple to use. You can, create a Facebook ad post in minutes using their templates, edit it, add your pictures, add your logo, add your any copy you want to put in the picture, and have it downloaded and ready to use in your Facebook ad. Super quick. So Canva is great. Ideally, you want some type of video content as well, video promos, so that you can use those in your video ads. So that could be a combination of class promos. It could be testimonials from your current members that you could use in your promos. It could be clips of classes. Ideally, you want to have those kind of edited together if you can. So for example, a good video promo might be like a good intro that's quite quick and exciting to watch of the class, for example, leading into you talking to the camera, explaining about your school, into a short testimonial from some students or some parents, into another class clip, into another testimonial, and into an offer at the end. That's a good structure for a video ad that could be between sort of 30 and 60 seconds long. So therefore you need, you know, someone to film video for you, ideally in high quality, and you need some sort of way of editing the video together, or having a team member edit the video together in a way that makes it exciting and engaging. I've got some recommended people I can recommend in the US who do really good video editing relatively cheaply, so I can add that to the group if you want. Copy is the words you put on the ad. So often martial arts instructors struggle with this. There are formulas you can use, copywriting formulas for writing Facebook ads. A great book I recommend is called How to Write Copy That Sells by Ray Edwards. That's a brilliant book on copywriting, really easy to read. And it has a formula in called the PASTOR formula, PASTOR, which is a great formula for writing Facebook ads. But if you don't want to use that, you can use something like AI or ChatGPT to write your ads. So Nick, have you used ChatGPT yet?
Yeah, I have. And actually, I saw that video. I saw you did a video talking about it. And yeah, I actually asked ChatGPT, like, write me just a basic martial arts kids ad. And it did well right away.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with ChatGPT, thank you, Nick. It's an AI language software that will basically write anything for you. It'll write blog posts, it'll write sales pages for your website, it'll write Facebook ads. So it's worth checking out. Right now, they're using like a demo version, but it still works great, and they're obviously going to launch a paid version soon. Now, the idea of using something like an AI copywriter is it gives you something to start with, something to work with. You may not want to use exactly what is written, but it will write you out a Facebook ad, and then you can tweak it, you can change it, you can add it, you can modify it, and then use it within your ad. So if you struggle with copy, using something like ChatGPT is a great thing to use. And also, you know, before you start running ads, you need a strategy and some KPIs, some things that you're going to measure as you run this type of ads. So clear objective, an ad account, Instagram and Facebook pages, the Facebook pixel installed on your website, a campaign budget, how much are you willing to spend on your Facebook ads, and a Canva account, so you can start creating good looking creative that'll stop people, some sort of way of creating video content that's engaging. Copy, so either you get good at writing copy yourself, and I recommend that book, and I recommend the PASTOR formula for writing copy, and you'll need a strategy and some KPIs. Any questions so far, or everyone good? It sounds like everyone's good. Just see in the chat. Yeah, Nick's asked, how do you install the pixel? I'll put some information within the group on how to install the pixel. The pixel, as I explained, is something that Facebook uses to track what happens on your website when they send someone to your website, which allows you to work out how effective your marketing is. And the ad library, the ad library is great for ideas, for images, copy, etc. Just try not to steal someone else's. So the question I get kind of asked most when I'm doing this type of training is, so Matt, how do I know my ads are working? So I've got a question for you first. You first need to work out how much you're willing to pay for a lead. And obviously that depends on how many of the leads that you get turn up to their trial, and then how many of those then sign up to a program. But you do need a figure in mind for the price you're willing to pay for a lead, whether that's from Facebook, whether that's from social media, whether that's from Google Ads, whether that's from your website, whether that's from a referral campaign, wherever it's from, you need to have a price. I'm willing to spend this amount of money to generate a lead because I know I'm going to convert that lead into a sale. So just have a figure in mind. I can also put some calculations in the group if you're not sure of what figure you're willing to pay for a lead. But this is important because let's say it's costing you $20 to get a lead and you're willing to spend up to $30 to generate that lead, then you just keep putting more money into the ad because it's efficient. If you're only willing to spend $30 to get a lead and it's costing you $90 to get each lead, then you have a problem with the ad. And then you need to change the ad in order to bring it back under that amount. So you just need to kind of do a bit of calculation yourself on how much am I willing to spend on paid marketing to generate a lead. Next thing you need to know, do apologize, is your cost per result. So when you run Facebook ads, when you look in the ads manager, it will give you a cost per result. So you'll be spending money, you'll be getting results, and Facebook is going to give you a cost per result. And that will tell you, roughly how much you're spending to get that click, to get that video view, to get that lead, to get that person to your website, to get whatever objective you're set with Facebook. So cost per result is really important. As long as your cost per result is within a margin that you're happy with, then you keep spending money on your ads. If your cost per result increases too much, then you usually change your ads, switch them off, or try a different variation of an ad. So your cost per result kind of tells you how you're doing. Your link click-through rate, CTR, is inside the ads manager. There's a section where you can see your results, and you want your link click-through rate to be over 0.75. What that means is when people are scrolling and they see your ad and they read the copy and then they click the link to enter their details, to go to your website, to send you a message, that is a link click-through. And you want your click-through rate to be over 0.75. Below 0.75 means that the copy is not really working, the ad's not really working, and people aren't clicking on it. So they're seeing it, they're looking at it, but they're not feeling like they're going to get sufficient value, or they're not sure what to do next. So they don't click on the link. So the link click-through rate tells you how well your copy is performing, how well your creative is performing. Anything over 0.75 is pretty good. Anything over 1 is really, really good. And you just want to keep working to get your link click-through rate up over 1. Frequency is how often people see your ad. Because you're marketing to people within your local area, if your frequency goes over 3, that can be a bit of a problem, because it means that they're seeing the same ad, they've seen the same ad 3 times. But if you're still getting a good link click-through rate and you're still getting a good cost per result, you can continue with the ad as it is. But if you find that your frequency is going up and your link click-through rate is going down, so people are seeing it more, but they're not clicking on the link, and your cost per result is going up, then that means you've got a problem with the ad, and you should either tweak it, switch it off, or try a different approach. And your cost per 1,000 impressions tells you how much CPM, tells you how much Facebook is charging you to show your ad to 1,000 people. And that can vary based on how much Facebook is charging. So typically, for example, in sort of November, December, and January, the cost per 1,000 impressions is higher because a lot more advertisers are on Facebook spending money trying to get people to buy stuff over Christmas. So it just gives you an idea of what Facebook would be charging you to show your ads. So of these, like the most important ones are your cost per result, your link click-through rate, and your frequency. So that's kind of how you tell if your Facebook ads are working. Obviously, they're going to generate leads, they're going to generate clicks to your website, they're going to generate message conversations, which are the primary thing you measure. But in terms of the back end of Facebook, you need to be looking at, am I getting a good cost per result, cost per message, cost per click, cost per lead? Am I getting a good click-through rate? Is it over 0.75? And is my frequency typically below 3? Questions or good? Oh, good. You guys obviously are good at your Facebook ads. That's cool. So we're just going to talk about the 5 campaigns that we're going to cover over the next 12 months. These are the 5 ones that I've found have worked best, and I've spoke to various ad agency owners that I know, and they say these are the ones that tend to work best for them. But you can obviously test others. I would start with these. So inside of Facebook, you will have a campaign objective. You can choose what the campaign objective is. We're going to look at a lead form campaign today because it's the easiest to set up, and it gives you results really, really quickly. And in my opinion, the lead form is one of the best campaigns that you can run. The next one we'll look at possibly next month is the $5 per day engagement campaign. So this is one that you frequently use if the lead form campaign doesn't perform as you want. So you basically put content out into the local community as a video ad. And the idea is you then target people who have engaged with that video ad, but it's a bit more complex. So that's going to be the second one. Some people like messenger campaigns where, you know, the person clicks on the link within the ad, it goes through to your Facebook Messenger, and you can get them to book their trial or come in for a trial from the messenger campaign. Some people use a bot, so something like ManyChat, which is an automated bot that will answer people's questions and direct them and get them signed up for trials. You can use those. They're becoming less popular because a lot of people prefer to speak to an actual person in a messenger campaign. The third type of campaign, fourth type of campaign is a conversion campaign. This is where you send people to your website to book a paid trial, for example, or to book an intro workshop, or to book a 6-week intro course or something similar. This is great if you are charging people for a paid trial or charging people to, you know, book a 6-week intro workshop, because conversion campaign tracks purchases. So you'd send someone from Facebook to a specific page on your website where you would they would fill in a form, make their payment for the 6-week intro course. Facebook would track that. It would tell you how you were doing. You would get the lead, and then obviously you deliver the classes. So conversion campaigns can work if you've got some sort of paid trial. And finally, a retargeting campaign. A retargeting campaign is a campaign that you run to your to people who've either engaged with your Facebook content, have watched some of your videos and ads promos on Facebook, or have visited your website. And the good thing about retargeting campaigns is they're really cheap, and they can be used to kind of mop up the people who maybe visited your website but then didn't fill in the form to find out more information, or visited your website but didn't pay for the intro course that you had on there. So you can then retarget those people with ads asking, you know, taking them to the next step, educating them, or possibly trying to get them to sign up with a very special offer specifically for them. So those are the 5 that we're going to look at. Now, what I'd like you to do ideally is some of you might already be running lead form ad campaigns, which is great. If you're not, I'd like you to run a lead ad campaign in your account for 10 days after this. So set it up sort of today or tomorrow, let it run for 10 days. And then if it's performing well, keep it running and spend more budget. If it's not performing as you want, switch it off, but don't delete it. And then I can jump in next month and look at some of the ad campaigns. You can send them to me. I can take a look at them, give you some feedback, and we can kind of fix any problems that you might have with those. So I want to just quickly show you the ChatGPT quickly, if it's working, because sometimes ChatGPT isn't. You go to OpenAI, you go to ChatGPT, it opens up this, and then in here you want to put in something along the lines of write a Facebook ad for a children's martial arts class. Click return. Aha! An error has occurred. So the problem with ChatGPT as it currently is it's getting a lot of usage. A lot of people are using it. So it says, yeah, we're experiencing exceptionally high demand. So it may not do what I want it to do, but let's try it. Write a Facebook ad. Fingers crossed it works. Ah, cool. So it has a little think, and then the AI robots start writing out a Facebook ad for you. So that's a bit short. So you can type in more, and it will have a little think and start writing more on that subject. But the idea is it gives you an idea of what to start with your copy, gives you a few things that you can edit, and at least gets you started with your copywriting. I think it's had a meltdown here, but usually it's pretty good, and especially the next version of it, it's going to be a paid version. It's really, really great. So definitely worth checking out ChatGPT. So I just wanted to quickly show you how to set up a lead form ad. So you go into your ads manager, which you hopefully have set up. You click create. Now you have these options: awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, sales. For most martial arts schools, unless you're sending someone to a page to sign up for a paid course, for example, you want to use the lead objective. I'll just check out the questions in a minute. So leads objective, click continue. Give the campaign a name. So for example, if you're doing kids age 7 to 9, so we're going to run a lead campaign to get kids in who are 7 to 9 years old. You can put the date on it as well if you want a particular 23. You don't need any special ad categories. You're going to use your auction. At a later date, I'll explain about A/B testing. You're not going to use that for the moment, and you're not going to use advantage campaign budget at the moment because you want to control the budget within the ad set. Click next. So that's the first bit. That's the overall campaign. Next, we're going to use the ad set name. So ad set essentially means audience set. So now you can target, for example, everyone within your local area around your school, or you can target, for example, parents of kids aged 7 to 9, because Facebook allows you to target specific demographics. So I'm going to target parents of kids aged 7 to 9, and I'm going to use an instant form. Now, an instant form is a form that pops up on Facebook when someone clicks on your ad to learn more, and it allows them to enter their details, their name, their telephone number, their email address, and any other questions that you want to ask. Now, the advantage of that is if someone completes that form, you have their name, you have their email, you have their telephone number, so you can text message them, you can call them, and you can email them. So it's 3 ways of getting hold of them. For them, it's very, very simple because all they need to do is click a couple of buttons and they've sent that form to you. You just need to download it and then follow up with the leads. So this is why this is the best, well, the easiest way to get started with Facebook ads. So choose your Facebook page. So instant form, choose your Facebook page. Set a daily budget. I would start with $10 per day or $20 per day, depending, based on your budget. And you want to let this run for at least 3 to 5 days before you make a decision whether to switch it off, change anything within it, or increase the budget. So let Facebook do its work. Let Facebook work out what it's got to do. Now, in the audience, I would, of course, choose a location. And this is quite important. As I mentioned before, you don't want people living in or recently in this location, because recently in might be someone who's commuted in and then goes back an hour out to their house. It might be someone who's just been driving through your area and has carried on and now is 500 miles away. You always want to select people living in this location. And then you'd obviously search your location. So I'll put in a location near me. And of course, I can change the radius of that down to 10 miles or less. I can drop the pin if I want it to be more specific. I can use postcodes if I want it to be more specific. You can do all sorts of experimentation with targeting in the local area. So that's great. I'll scroll down. Now I'm going to use some detailed targeting, as I mentioned, because I'm going after parents. So I'm going to click in detailed targeting and I'm going to type in here parents. And you see what comes up. It says parents with adults, children, parents with teenagers, parents with preteens. So I'm going to choose parents with early age kids, 6 to 8. And I could also choose slightly older demographic, 9 to 12 as well. What that means is my ad is only going to be seen by parents who have this age children, which makes it really great, really targeted, really specific. In terms, Advantage Plus placement is fine. Then I click next. So I give the ad a name, kids ad age 7 to 9. Let's go roll down. I'm going to use it on my Facebook page and on my Instagram account. And in the beginning, I'm going to use a single image or video. At a later date, I can show you how to test multiple images or videos. Someone's got their iPhone. There you go. Try and stay muted if you haven't got a question, guys, because it affects the recording. So single image or video to start with. I'll show you different variations of doing that at a later date. Once again, I want to choose an image that gets people interested. So you want to try and use Canva or something similar to create an image that's kind of strong, that stands out, that's a little bit unique. Of course, you can add text to images now. For example, I'll use this image. This is from a sale that I did. Just make sure that the images look right in these 3 areas. You can edit them and change them as you want. But that would be an example of an image that is quite strong, quite striking, and will stand out on the feed. You can change the enhancements and the creatives. You don't need to. Click done. So I've got my image. Obviously, I'm talking about doing a kids martial arts class here. So I would have some sort of picture of cute kids doing martial arts with some sort of copy on top of that, such as free trial class or kids martial arts or something similar. Get down to the primary text. Now this is where you need to paste in your ChatGPT Facebook text, or you can use the Pastor formula, which we're going to cover in a lot more detail in the group. I can put some information in the group on the Pastor formula, but the Pastor formula is problem. What's the problem that the parent has experienced? Amplify the problem. Talk about what happens if they don't fix the problem. Solution. What's your solution to that problem? What's the transformation or testimonial you can add? So a parent testimonial is a great idea. What's the offer? And what's the response? What's the thing you want them to do? So this is Ray Edwards' formula. I think it's really good, works really well for Facebook ads. So you would add your primary text here, make sure you break it up, make sure you add emojis to make it look a little bit more interesting. Write a short headline. So anything that's new or exciting is a good idea. Kids martial arts class. New kids martial arts class, and I put the area so people know it's specifically for them if they're a parent in that area. So you ideally want a strong headline. something that captures people's attention and qualifies them. So the fact that it's new is interesting. Kids martial arts, so kids, you know, it's for parents of kids. Martial arts describes what you do. Loughton is the location, so something that kind of sums it up in one sentence. Try and use a book now, learn more. Don't use sign up. And then this is going to be taken through now to what is known as an instant form, which you can see on the side here. So you would click create form. You give the form a name. You got 3 choices: more volume or higher intent. Start with more volume. And underneath that, you have a series of drop-down menus that you need to fill out. So you could use the background image from your ad, which I would recommend so people know where they're going. And then you'd write a short greeting along the lines of, please enter your details to learn more about our classes. You can add a description here, so you can add some information in here. You can add a series of bulleted points as well, suitable for children aged 7 to 9 in this area, 5-star reviews, for example. Underneath that, you have a series of questions, and you want the person to have their email and telephone number. Right now, it just says email, full name. You want to add a category, go to contact fields, and then go phone number, and then reorder them. So this is the order that you want it: their name, their telephone number, and their email. So that's the questions section. You can add extra questions, but those are the 3 most important things you want. Just muting Joe. Underneath this, you need to add your privacy policy. You need to take a link from your website where your privacy policy is on your website and click it in here and make sure you add it. That's important. And then you have a final message for your leads. So thanks, you're all set. Now you might want to change this to, we will be in touch within 3 hours to book your trial class. So you want to explain what's going to happen next. You can also send them then to your website. You can get them to call you, or you can send them to a file like a PDF file. One thing you can add here is, if you'd like to book straight away, click the link below. So what I would do here is send them to a specific web page on your website where they can book their trial class immediately, because some people don't want to wait for you to call them. They just want to get on with it and just get booked in. So if you have a booking page for your kids program, for example, on your website, you would send them directly to that. So this is a 4-step form. So they would come through to here. It says, please enter your details to learn more about our classes. You can add a bit more information. Then they'd enter their contact information. Then they'd read your privacy policy, which no one does. And then once they've clicked submit at this point, submit, it will take them through to a page that says, thanks, you're all set. We'll be in touch within 3 hours to book your trial class. You would click publish, and then this lead form would be live as an ad. So, I mean, this took me probably 15 minutes to set up. It will take you a little bit longer as you go through the steps. But the idea is now I have a form, have an ad on Facebook for parents who have kids 7 to 9 years old within my local area, where I'm talking about the problem that they're experiencing. I'm amplifying it. I'm talking about my story, the solution, the transformation, the offer to get a free trial class, and what to do next. They will then click the learn more button. It will take them through to the form where they will enter their details. read the privacy policy or not, and that's it. And then you get, well, Facebook stores that information within Ads Manager in your results. So that's the easiest Facebook ad to run. It's called a lead form ad. So what I'd like you to do ideally is have this set up and try and set this up within the next day or two, so that you can have it running locally, and you just spend $10 a day for 5 days just to check it out, just to see how it goes. It will generate leads. It just depends how many leads and how many leads you can follow up with to get booked into trial classes. The way you find these leads is you go to your ads manager, you go to your campaign, and you go across to results. And inside of here where it says results, it will say on Facebook lead. You click that and you download a CSV file, Excel spreadsheet with the person's name, telephone number, and email, and then you follow up. So this does mean that you need to kind of check in once, twice a day into your ads manager to see the leads that have come in, and then you need to follow up with them. It's your responsibility to give them the call, to send them the text message, to send them the email, and you need some sort of automated system to do that as well, which we can talk about next month. But ideally what I'd like you to do is actually set this up and then have it running for a few days so you can generate some leads, follow up with those leads, and then make a decision. Remember, what we're trying to look at is your cost per result in terms of your ad, and a few other cost per impressions and a few other elements. If you don't see those in here, you can change the columns down here to use, I'd use performance and clicks. It tells you the most about what's going on. So your CPM is here, the amount you spent is here, your cost per result is here, your click-through rate will be here as well. So run the ad, run it for 5 days, see how many leads it generates. If it's killing it and you're happy with the number of leads you're getting from the ad, then increase the budget. So go from $10 a day to $20 a day. If you find it's not working and you're not happy with how it is, just switch it off. So there's an on-off switch with all your ads. You just go to the off and you turn it off, and it will stop spending money. But don't delete it, because we need to take a look at it to see how it's doing. So the idea is you run it 5 days. If it's working, keep spending. If not, switch it off. And then I will, next month, when we jump on the call, you guys can share some of your results you've got, and I can give you some feedback on what you're doing and how to improve it. Any questions? So we've got 10 minutes left or so. Yes, Nick.
If you're trying to sell summer camps, would you use a sales form? So I'll just tell you, like, I have my summer camp set up right now that I use Spark. So Spark has a page.
Yeah.
And right now, one of the things we're doing is we're emailing, and click the page and they register right on the page.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this for your summer camps and you're trying to get people to sign up right then and there,
yeah,
would you do it different, or would you put the link to like the page? Like how would you do that? I know you might not have time to explain that, but or show us that, but explain it.
Is that for your members or for external?
For external, like summer camp.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use a lead form campaign. I would use a conversion campaign. And what you would do in the back end of Facebook is set the conversion event, which means you'd need to know in Spark what the thank you page is for the summer camp. So, there'll be a form they fill in. Once they complete the form, they click and it says submit. It will take them through to a thank you page. You're going to need that URL for that thank you page, because the idea is you put it to inside of Facebook as a conversion event. So Facebook can then track whether the ad has worked. So you spend money in the ad, Facebook sends people to that first page, they sign up, because Facebook can track the thank you page, it can tell you, you spent $10 and you got this conversion, you got this person to sign up, and you made XYZ dollars. So that's a bit more involved, that's a bit more tricky. The alternative, if you just want a simpler version, is just to send traffic to your website, targeted traffic, people within your local area who have parents for, this age group, and you just drive traffic, but that won't perform as well as a conversion campaign, because once again, Facebook separates people into different buckets. Traffic people are clickers. They see an ad, they look, well, that looks interesting. They click on the ad, they go through to your website, they have a little look around, but they don't necessarily buy. Conversion campaign is set up so that it finds people within your local area who have bought off of Facebook, so gone to a website, had a look around, and then actually clicked a button to buy something. That's a different group within Facebook. So ideally a conversion campaign, it's a bit more tricky to set up. If not, if you just want to get and drive loads of people to the page as quickly as possible, just use traffic.
Okay. That was really valuable, just that understanding that conversion.
Yeah, we will be covering that. Obviously, this is the problem with just doing short sessions on Facebook. We can't cover everything. So the idea is month by month, we're going to look at a different campaign. We started with a little lead form campaign. It's relatively easy for people to set up and test. We're going to move on to more advanced campaigns as we go, including things like conversion campaigns and retargeting campaigns.
I have another question, sorry. So like I run external events like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, or I have legacy kickboxing championships coming up. And the objective, like just I'm paying attention to what you're saying and trying to apply it to other things that I do. So the objective would be to sell more tickets. So what type of campaign would I do for that, for like, say, legacy kickboxing championships, with a sales campaign? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a sales campaign with the idea of getting conversions. Same thing. So an awareness campaign is like letting people know in your local area. We don't use that much. Traffic campaign is if you want to send people to a specific page on your website, for example, maybe a blog post or some information on the website that you want people to see. Engagement campaign is if you want people to watch a portion of your video or engage with your post, like, comment, share. Can be used for conversions. Lead campaign is if you want to capture people's data, their information, their email address, a telephone number, get some information from them. So that would be an instant form like we just looked at. A messenger campaign where they contact your Facebook Messenger, or just directly calling you at the business. App promotion if you have an app installs, and then sales. So if you're trying to drive someone to register for an event, you want to use the sales conversion event or campaign.
Okay. And
so
sorry,
I have a quick question.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Nick.
Sorry, Omar, last question for me. And I put this in the chat. In your experience for martial arts school, like what is a good cost per lead? Because we're gonna go do these forms, and how do we know that like we're doing well? Because if I'm understanding everything properly, like, if our cost per lead is lower, our ad is doing well.
Yeah.
So what is a good cost per lead in your experience? Through online advertising.
Most martial arts schools are doing something between $10 and $30 cost per lead, but that depends on the percentage of leads that you sign up off the back of that, because some martial arts schools only sign up 30% of the leads that come in, others sign up 70% of the leads that come in or more. And then you've got to work out how much you charge in the initial. Once someone decides to join your school, what's the initial payment amount? Because that will drastically affect what you can spend on Facebook ads. For example, if your initial investment for a new student is $200, $300, $400, $500, you can afford to spend $50 getting a lead, because you're going to make 10x back on the back end. But if your initial payment that the first student makes is $30, then you're going to struggle, because you can't make enough money in the initial transaction to cover the cost of your Facebook ads, which is why it's a good idea to have some sort of, 12-week intro program, which students pay for in advance, which is a large deposit, a joining fee, a membership fee, a license fee, a package that they spend on initially so that you can afford to spend more on Facebook ads.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's great. We're for my school in particular, we're already tracking the average lifetime spend per client. So, in knowing that we have like a 85% sign up rate, as well as understanding the lifetime spend, it just saying back, for the group, what you're saying, I know that like we're okay if it costs a little bit more per acquisition, because I know that over the lifetime that we're gonna yield that back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Great.
I have one quick question, Matt.
Sure.
So for like the campaigns that I usually run, I usually have the ad agency that runs my campaigns, but the campaigns that we usually run are paid campaigns. So we should probably use a sales, right? For like, usually it's like for $49.99, you get to train for 4 weeks. And that's kind of like our sign up special. So would you use sales, or would you just worry about getting the lead and then figure out the sale afterward?
You'd have to test both against each other and see which one works best for your school. You could send them directly to a page where they sign up. That would be a sales and conversion campaign. Or you can capture their contact information for a lead campaign, which usually is cheaper, and then follow up with them via email and call to get them to sign up. So you have to test both against each other to see which one performs best. It might be that they have questions, they want to ask a few questions, they want to get to know you before they commit, in which case a lead campaign will work quite well, because you could do that via messenger or via call. But other people might be just willing straight away to book onto it straight from a website page, in which case conversion will work. So this is the idea. You have to test different campaigns against each other to find the winner, which you then spend more on.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for the information. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Got 3 minutes left, guys. Any other questions? So I'll get the copy of this recording to Nick, and we'll put it within the group, and I'll also add some extra information about how to install the Facebook Pixel, that name of that book that I mentioned for sales copy, a link to ChatGPT, which is really, really cool, and a few other bits and pieces that help you get started. Ideally, if you can run this ad and spend $50 to $60 over 5 days, this lead form ad, you can test it and see how it works. I've had people generate dozens of leads through spending $50 or $60, and they've been really happy with it. So you just got to test these different campaigns. The idea is you set a budget. I'm going to spend $60 testing lead forms on Facebook. You do it, you test it, you see the results, you then make a decision. Let's spend more or let's not. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And I can be in the group as well, Nick, to answer any questions or to help anyone who needs anything.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt. That was awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Have a great day, guys. If you need anything, just ask in the group, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.
I can add him to the number.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Cheers, guys. Have a good day. Thank you, Nick.